course, the time is just about 5 after 1. We want to say good afternoon to the many of you always tune in to Talk on the Block. So if it's on the block, we'll talk about it. The latest and most current information you know is the results of the presidential election. We know now that it's Donald Trump, president-elect. Mixed feelings, I tell you, in Dominica and the Caribbean about this. I'm still getting disappointing notes most of the time for people who send in their messages. On the line with me to get a feel of what's going down in Washington. And the reaction there is Dominican lawyer based in Washington, Gabriel Christian. I'll get a feel from him, you know. What's the mood on the ground there? We'll talk to him for a few minutes. There's also something going on as we speak with Caribbean youth leaders in Washington. We'll get an update about it as well. Gabriel Christian was the featured speaker there. Mr. Gabriel Christian, good afternoon to you. Sorry, I know you're almost on your lunchtime there, but I was lucky to, catch up with you there.
Well, behold, I show you a mystery. Good afternoon to you and to our beautiful island nation of Dominica, our lovely people. So I'm not at the Youth Leaders Summit for the Caribbean. I'm at the Young Leaders of the Americas initiative, of which the Caribbean is part. So all the way down to Argentina, all the way up to Mexico. The entire Americas is here. Dominica has 2 representatives here. A young woman called Honoré. I've never met her before. I guess, she was born after I left Dominica. And another gentleman who runs a TV company called BRPTV, I believe. I have not met him, but I know he's here. And this was set up by President Obama. It was a presidential initiative to bring all the young innovators, leaders, business leaders, scientists from the Caribbean, Latin America, Central America, into a partnership for prosperity. Because President Obama, who we voted for twice, 2008, 2012, was of the belief, which I share, that it's better to make peace and not war. And so this morning I gave the feature address at the TED Talk, and you'll hear more about that later. And it was inspiring that I mentioned that we congratulate President Obama for having done this initiative, that a Dominican from Dominica is holding up our flag proudly in Washington. I went to bed at 3 this morning. We did not expect this result, although I had a nagging feeling. There are many places in America that are hurting, where the jobs have left for China or Mexico. There are many Americans who didn't support the fact that Clinton voted for the war in Iraq and the war in Libya, that she was a warmonger. But I will be frank, I voted for her despite my misgivings about certain aspects of her policy, because I thought she was the better of the 2 choices presented. The people have spoken. President Trump is the president-elect, or Trump is the president-elect, Mr. Trump is. But he's a business person. As a young student in Washington, about 30 years ago, I cleaned out Trump's boat. He was a young business person. I worked at the Capital Yacht Club. I had 80 boats. And his boat was one of those that I worked on, and I met him. And as a successful businessman, he knows that he has to put in place policies that will assure the market, that will assure America, which is a diverse country of black people, of white people, of Asians, of Hispanics, that there's going to be inclusion and inclusivity. Because if he does not do that, and if it is a continuous drumbeat of division and arrogance and chauvinism and racism and class prejudice, then he will not succeed. So he might surprise us as he surprised the world, and in fact do better than we think he would have been able to do by bringing together the strands of the American society in a more perfect union. So this morning I raised the banner of Abraham Lincoln. Abraham Lincoln was a great president. He was a Republican, and he was able to go through a civil war and make America an attractive country by ending slavery. And who knows? I believe in hope. I'm a person of faith, and I believe that by faith we can overcome.
Well, tell me, Mr. Gabriel Christian, what do you think happened? I mean, a lot of shock all around the world. The polls never predicted this. Where did the shift come from?
A lot of the young people who voted for Bernie Sanders, who I supported, did not go to vote. They were disappointed that Bernie did not get the nod. They were further disappointed when the emails came out that said that Bernie was cheated, that they were actually working against Bernie on the inside. So a lot of people didn't come out of her. Many African Americans were not enthused as they should have been or could have been and didn't go out of her. But more importantly, we must give Trump credit. Trump is a person who understands marketing, and he used Clinton's missteps with the emails and the mantra of crooked Hillary, crooked Hillary, crooked Hillary, time and time again, to the point that people who didn't even understand what she did just took her as being crooked. And people in the rural areas of America, in the so-called Rust Belt, where the factories have left for other countries who have very limited opportunities now, were inspired that this guy was going to make America great again. So he had that sort of visceral appeal to American patriotism, a visceral appeal to American nationalism. And yes, let's be frank, there was a what you call backlash. Wonderful, thank you. There was a backlash against President Obama because President Obama came to this position when America was in the ditch, the truck had gone off the road, the country was in depression, jobs were being lost by the tens of thousands, and he brought America back to a semblance of stability. And there are people who still resent that happened. And there is that element that one cannot underestimate, that the Ku Klux Klan and the American Nazi Party endorsed him. Even if he rejected the endorsements, they felt comfortable enough with him. Now that he's president of all Americans, black and white, Hispanic, Jew and Gentile, Asian and other indigenous Americans, my hope is that he will be able to rise above the limitations of where he started and show a better way. And we, as black people, as Caribbean people, we just have to pull together even more and work together. So even though government in Dominica, when they talk about unity, they need to make sure that they're not faking it and they mean it and they do it. Because a lot of times we're not honest with our people, we're not honest with each other, and we fall short because we don't unite as we should. We run after people because they're UWP, we run after people because they're freedom, we run after people because they criticize government. What I have really always appreciated about the American system is that I was able to come here as a black West Indian and despite racism and difficulties, work my way up and never forget the country I came from and give back best I could to my country and my region. I wish in our own country, in Dominica, that when elections have taken place and elections are over, that all Dominicans can be given a seat at the table of inclusivity and can be allowed to contribute their competence and their resources to the common good and not be shut out of the development process.
Let me ask you a quick question. I know you have to go, Gable. The immigration issue is a very important issue that was brought up a lot during the election process here. Should Caribbean immigrants be worried at this time?
Well, look, let's put it this way. I don't believe that worrying is a solution or a strategy. I think what we have to be mindful of our capacity to persevere and overcome. Remember, we're the same people who overcame slavery. We're the same people who overcame colonialism. We're the same people who, despite storms and difficulties, have been able to keep a semblance of nationhood. There are countries that are greater than ours, richer than ours, that have collapsed, where we've been able to overcome and stand. And I believe in the Caribbean we can show by our unity of purpose, by being law-abiding, by being productive. Let me just say this, Matt. The way humanity is, humanity appreciates productivity in all species of things. And so if you are productive, I take in case in question the Jews. The Jews were reviled. Hitler killed 6 million. But the Jews, by their essential sense of unity, purpose, self-confidence, and faith, were able to overcome and build a strong state. And the reality is, we as Caribbean people, just like the Jews were immigrants to this country, we were not immigrants, we were brought here by force, but we have been able to persevere with the likes of Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, and all the great leaders we've had. And I have no doubt in my mind that even in the darkest hour, at the end of that tunnel, there comes some light, and we can, in fact, make a way. So I'm very confident that while it seems like there's a challenge, that there's going to be a wall that's going to be built, we now have to build stronger economies so we don't have to flee our homeland, and those who are overseas, like myself, have to do more to help our countries, and hopefully we can have governments that are receptive to the help and the partnership that we seek to give.
But tell me, I really just want you to focus on this immigration issue because a lot of people are worried about it. You are an immigration lawyer yourself. Should there be any particular concern?
I'm not.
But you deal with immigration issues, yes.
Yeah, I'm not an immigration lawyer, but I'm an immigrant.
Yes.
And what I can tell you is there are two things you need to know. There is a deportation process that if you're in the United States, you do not have papers, you'll be deported. There is the mantra of the foreigners are coming and taking our jobs. So that is a reality. So my thing to people who are Caribbean is, if you're a green card holder, get your citizenship. If you are not a green card holder and you're here illegally, try to find a way to be competent in what you do, so that you can actually get sponsorship. Because there are ways to navigate through that difficulty. There are many people that I know I work with all the time who've been here for years, who've not rectified their status because of their own negligence. But I know that if you come to the United States and you're law-abiding and you're productive, a way will be made for you. It's where you come to the United States, you get into drugs and crime and cause havoc. You end up in the hands of the police. They check your status. You don't have papers, then they deport you, right? In my generation, Matt, I know not one deportee. Let me repeat what I said, and so all Dominicans can hear me. In my generation, I know not one deportee from the United States. It's the Dominicans who have come, frankly, the younger Dominicans who maybe looked at too much television that was not meaningful, who've come up here and gotten themselves involved in drugs and gangs and have gotten deported. There are not many of us, as let's say Jamaica or some other countries, but it's the Caribbean person who steps out of the line who normally gets in trouble. 90% of the time. The other 10% maybe just people who have bad luck. But if you come to the United States, even you come on a student visa, and you are purposeful, and you're hardworking, and you're productive, and you educate yourself, and you give to your community, people are going to come to your assistance, black, white, and other, and you're going to be able to make it. That is my message. So those who are listening to me, the real challenge really is in our hands, and the opportunity is in our hands. And even with the immigration laws, there are ways to navigate those laws successfully if one is a citizen who is contributive wherever they are. So you plant yourself by the rivers of waters and you contribute to this country, you can overcome Donald Trump or any other person or any other president or any other circumstance that might be inimical to your progress.
Well, listen to this, Mr. Gabriel Christian. Somebody just tweeted this. The worst day in America ever was on 9/11. The second worst day in America, 11/9. Do you believe this?
No, I don't. I'm not a pessimist. Let me just tell you something. You ever heard of something called autodetermination? That is, or self-fulfilling prophecy. If you think things are bad, they will be. Okay? Look, we went through slavery. We went through Jim Crow. And by that I mean racial segregation. And when I say we black people, we were able to overcome those things. There were people who were worse than Donald Trump in what they preached. And Donald Trump, right before the election, said, I love black people. Well, he had to say that because he knows you can't go out there in America today like you used to be before and just say things that are racially prejudicial. So there has been change. And I don't believe, while I'm disappointed, it was not the person I voted for, I don't believe that we should cry, ruin, or woe be upon me. I believe, as an optimist, that the glass is half full, not half empty. There are institutions in the United States. There is an independent Congress. There are state governments. There's rule of law. So, Trump can't just go and pick people up and throw them in jail and deport them. There's due process, you understand. There's trial by jury, you understand. There are independent law courts. So the United States is a country not of one man. It's not a one-man rule. There are still institutions. And with those institutions, I believe we can protect the rights of all people, American citizens, residents, and immigrants without papers.
What did you tell the young people this morning, in a nutshell here, Gabriel Christian, that you addressed? Of course, you did indicate that you addressed a group of young leaders from the Caribbean.
No. Young leaders of the Americas.
Of the Americas. Not only the Caribbean, but the Americas. Okay.
That's correct. The Caribbean is represented because we're part of the Americas. But I want to say this to you. What I tell them is study hard, work hard, be disciplined, build teams, be visionary, and succeed. I'm being called in now to make a presentation, so I have to be leaving. But it's the same message I give to the cadets in Dominica. Be disciplined, study hard, partner, contribute to your community, volunteer, persevere, and we shall overcome. That's the message.
Thank you for the time, Gabriel Christian. We do appreciate it.
God bless you, man. God bless Dominica, and we'll make it.
All right, thank you very much. Seem very optimistic there. Gabriel Christian, lawyer based in Washington, Dominican lawyer based in Washington. We're going to take a quick break, and then we'll come back for more of your phone calls. This is Q905, because we continue to explore the big news around the world. President-elect Donald Trump
Thank you. Thank you very much, everybody. Sorry to keep you waiting. Complicated business. Complicated. Thank you very much. I've just received a call from Secretary Clinton. She congratulated us, it's about us, on our victory. And I congratulated her and her family on a very, very hard-fought campaign. I mean, she fought very hard. Hillary has worked very long and very hard over a long period of time, and we owe her a major debt of gratitude for her service to our country. I mean that very sincerely. Now it's time for America to bind the wounds of division, have to get together. To all Republicans and Democrats and independents across this nation, I say it is time for us to come together as one united people. It's time.
It's time to come together. I wish we could do that in Dominica. Put away our politics, our partisan politics, and come together to build this beautiful country called Dominica. Hello.
Hey, Matt, good afternoon.
To you, sir.
Matt, God bless Donald Trump. God bless the United States of America. And Matt, all those Dominicans that are up there illegally, I want Mr. Trump to send them back home. We have work for them, Matt. We have the NEP. We have wheelbarrows and brooms waiting for them to sweep Rosso.
You want Donald Trump. You really think about what you said before you say it, my friend? 123. Hello.
Hey, Matt, good afternoon.
To you, sir.
Yeah, the get-together Donald Trump just spoke about. You see, which
I heard it too with the Prime Minister and his independence address.
Besides that, right after the election, we had the olive branch, you know. And the olive branch, what happened to it? So we are better than that. We have the olive branch in Dominica. We're spreading the olive branch. Thank you.
Hello, talk to me. I know that was full of sarcasm. 124.
Matt, good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, yes.
Matt, if somebody goes into another person's country illegally, violate their immigration laws, doesn't that make you a criminal? So if the country decides to deport you, what is so wrong with that? I mean, in our own history, we had a situation where somebody ran for office when they were a French citizen. And so, Matt, you know, we got to do things straight. And I don't think we should lament the fact that Donald Trump is advocating that we need to stop that illegal immigration situation. I think it's a national security issue, and it needs to stop. Thank you, Matt.
Thank you, too. Hello.
Hello, Matt. Good afternoon.
To you.
Yes, Matt, the message for the American election is that Americans vote for America. They're looking internally, they're looking at themselves, and they don't care the hell about the rest of the world. And that's the reason why we have to make our country strong in order to accommodate those at home and those in America who will be disenfranchised after Americans decided that all the opportunities should belong to them. So I think the message in this election is Dominica have to build a country, build the economy that will provide opportunities for all Dominicans. Thank you.
So you're actually not surprised as to what happened there?
Well, not surprised because I work in the countryside and I've been going around and speaking to in the agricultural community, and they believe that America should work for Americans. And all the immigrants and all the money that has been spent overseas should go back to making life better for Americans. When you say Americans, you know what I mean. You know, so
yes.
Yeah. So I think the challenge for us is to take a lesson from that and to start working and building our country economy, where we started in the 1940s and build gradually until 2000. We have to go back to the drawing board, revive agriculture, make it commercial, create opportunities there, and all the other business that come from it in terms of manufacturing, in terms of trade, in terms of marketing, and all the other scientific jobs that will come with our industry in agriculture, in fisheries, in tourism. You know, whatever we do, we have to create opportunities for graduates or scientists or engineers, because that's the only way we can make a country stronger. If all jobs, all the critical, high-paying jobs go to overseas to foreigners, every project. I mean, look at the engineers in Dominica. There are no opportunities in Dominica, yet you have infrastructure programs going on. Look at agriculture, you know. So
But let me ask you that as a former politician yourself. One thing I took from this message from Trump this morning, you know, a lot of people are disappointed, but he did call, you know, there immediately for the people to come together. A lesson for Dominica: we've never been able to, you know, come together after elections. We keep fighting each other.
That's not so much.
Mm-hmm.
Matt, if you look at it, if you look at the record of the United Workers' Party, I mean, 90% of the people who fought us in government are the people we supported. I mean, I can call.
So you're saying that the United Workers' Party was different?
Of course. Ask John Toussaint. Ask the guy in environment. The system was preventing him from being appointed because he came from Cuba. The system prevented him from going and study. And because of my intervention, he was able to get those facilities. John Toussaint, he was the head of livestock, and they didn't want to give him the job as chief veterans, and I put my hand in and get it. So, and they were all against us. Look at Ian Douglas. Ian Douglas was studying and ran out of money, and we helped him. And many other people. If you look at the record of the United Workers' Party and see how we were able to expand from away from our support to all of Dominica. You know, we gave school books. We didn't call our supporters and say, look, school books like we do now. We had a policy for all children. And I mean, look at the record. You know? So we can govern and include everybody. But we went back to the statement made by Ms. Charles when she said her eyes going to fund those who support her. And the young Freedomites at the time believe her, and they came in government, and they're doing the same thing. Their eyes only fall on the people who support them and to help everybody else. That's what happened to Dominica.
So it's just not a policy of the opposition United Workers' Party. Are you saying that the labor rights are different, or the Labour Party is different?
Well, I wouldn't even say Labour Party, because I came from a Labour Party. That is the root of the Freedom Party that's governing us now. And they believe the statement made by Ms. Charles when she said her eyes will inform these people who support her in those days. And they pick it up, and they're only giving service. They're only governing for their supporters. You know,
the presidential race.
Caller, thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Presidency, the business tycoon, and TV personality.
Why can't we just come together?
Probable political journey with an astounding upset victory. Donald J. Trump will become the 45th president of the United States, defeating Hillary Clinton in a campaign unlike anything we've seen in our lifetime. Donald Trump wins the presidency of the United States. He is now going to be called President-elect Donald Trump. He's walking up right now. You see him right there. He's going to be speaking momentarily. He's got his wife there. History has been made. Jake, this is a moment a lot of people are going to remember.
History in the making. A moment, as the commentator said, that a lot of people will remember. Hello.
Hello, Mr. Mark.
Yes, sir.
Well, Mr. Mark, that not shocked me. Because, Mr. Mark, look at what that happened. I always say that whatever you sow, what you reap. People over 30 years, 25 years, 20 years, they come there and they go back in their job and they're laughing at us. But Donald Trump, look at what he do. His wife, his children stand up firm. I'm calling on Dominican now. They're only thinking they leave us there and they come in and put us in misery and they are bread. They don't know which one to use. A time coming, you have to come back to your country. So have a good time now, while liberty. Always remember, whatever you do to your brother and your sister, you do it to yourself. You don't do people mischief. You do your own self mischief.
Thank you. Matt, I'm worried about our people in the U.S. who support their families and do not have their papers. God help us. 131, that was just a WhatsApp message. Hello.
Matt Peltier, good afternoon to you.
Hey, Clayton, how you doing?
I'm very well indeed. Look, I heard Gabriel Christian's comments a while ago. But you know, Matt, for us in the Caribbean and Dominica in particular, the important thing for us now is to have to determine what is going to be the relationship between the United States government under Donald Trump and the Caribbean. I know that many people in Dominica have the view that the Republicans have always been, to some extent, more helpful to us. I'm not sure that this is going to happen this time, because there is the Cuban issue, there's the issue of terrorism. The United States is very concerned about that. But what I would suggest is those persons from the Caribbean who are in Washington, our ambassadors, from Jamaica all the way down to Guyana and CARICOM, they should very quickly go and engage the new administration and to find out what their policy is going to be for the Caribbean islands that are right there on the underbelly of the United States of America. If we move into a position where the U.S. is not going to be concerned about Haiti, about Cuba, about the Eastern Caribbean, and the economic circumstances that we are going to face with developing vibrant economic opportunities for all our people, because the U.S. is going to begin to exercise some kind of restriction on the banking arrangements with finance, U.S. aid, and so on. On the other hand, Matt, I have to say that very often our overseas representatives do not seem to me that they are going into the State Department and to other government agencies and negotiating interests for the Caribbean. I don't see it. All these ambassadors we have overseas, does anybody know what they do? Mr. Hubert Charles, who was there in Washington, to the OAS as well as to the United States, does anybody know what he did in respect of developing programs, proposals for the interest of the country? I didn't see anything like that, unless other Dominicans, of course, can make comments, including people in the Labour Party who can say to me that he was doing something. I have no information whatsoever, the period the gentleman was up there, what he was doing for the interest of Dominica. Anyway, thank you very much, sir.
Thank you so much. Thanks. A very important note there, Mr. Hello, talk to. Hello. 4493095. Hello.
Yes, Matt. Dominicans have to take note that America does not belong to them. When you go up there, you have to legalize yourself. And a lot of them that stay there 20, 25 years without papers, they're going to have to face what's coming for them, Matt. I support Donald Trump.
Hello, talk to me. Lucky you. Maybe you have gotten your papers, but there are others who are not as fortunate as you. 135. Hello.
Yes, Matt. Blessings, bro.
To you, yes.
Let me just say some call blessings. Matt, you there with me?
I'm here.
Yeah, some I really want to get in touch with you. Matt, let me say something. Matt, somebody while he was with Christian, and before I move, you heard who Christian said supported Trump that time? The Communist Party and the Ku Klux Klan, Matt. That's very interesting. And you see the text or the WhatsApp you receive, 9/11/11/9. But watch these events and keep them in the annals of your history, so to speak. But really and truly, in short, because when people talk about the edge of the coin, everybody rushing at their throat. We have not seen nothing yet. And that's just the beginning, King. And all the games that are being run on the world, people think it's like a coincidence. But it's all organized. It's all structured. So Trump, whether for good or bad, let us watch where it's going now, and we will see. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Hello, talk to me. We'll take a break in a minute here.
Matt.
Mm-hmm.
You heard about the terrible accident in Roger?
I am actually just hearing there that a lot of fire trucks are going up in that area, and people are asking me what's going on. What do you know?
A tourist died on the scene. My daughter is up there right now. A tourist died on the scene, and they're just taking out the driver now.
So there was some accident involving a tourist.
A tourist bus here and a car.
A tourist bus and a car, and one person may have died. Hello. Wow, that's not good news at all. Actually, just somebody sent me a WhatsApp message indicating that they're hearing a lot about a fire, fire trucks and ambulances heading up in that area. What is going on? And somebody's just calling to let me know just what's going on. Hello, talk to me.
Good afternoon, Matt. How you doing?
Good.
Matt, a couple of years ago, Vince Henderson was rubbing shoulders with Donald Trump.
Mm-hmm.
Now he have the perfect opportunity to really rub shoulders with Donald Trump for us to get aid and help and assistance and everything for Dominica. Have a blessed day. Bye-bye.
Have a blessed day. Hello, talk to me. 137. Hello?
Hello, Matt, Community Service. Matt, day before yesterday, there were 3 accidents on one route from Paris Williams to the docks. There was 3 accidents, and driving on the road, I actually saw 3 accidents marked at 3 different points on one stretch. Thank you.
That's Talking the Block News just coming in, indicate that there's some accident in the is it Tarno, that area heading up to Sylvania there. Hello, talk to me. Mola.
America.
Okay, thank you very much. Hello.
Matt.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you so very much for that information, because I saw how many fire trucks pass, I saw the ambulance, I saw police, and I'm saying, but what is taking place? So probably you can get in touch with somebody in Sylvania, somebody like Wayne James, probably, or somebody to brief us as to what is happening.
Yes, and anybody in that area that, of course, have witnessed or is currently witnessing what's going on there, because seem to be something serious up in that area there. Hello, Roger, Sylvania area. Hello.
Matt?
Yes.
That's your friend Pappy.
Yes, Pappy.
You know, I prophesied that the man was going to win.
Okay.
And Matt, he win. And I'm going up January. I get my ticket to go up January.
Oh, you're going to meet with Donald Trump?
I'm going to meet with him.
Okay.
I get a call already to come up.
Okay, Pappy. All right. Pappy is already indicating that he has an appointment to meet with the president-elect. Well, Pappy, you're really quick. Hello, talk to me.
Good afternoon, Matthias.
Yes,
Matthias, sometimes I question many things, some of which is like sometimes people complain, and there's a difference if complaining from those who are crying out for help. Those who complain when deliverance comes, they will not be able to see it, and they will have a problem to accept it. But those who are crying out, they will recognize it, and they will accept it. Okay? So I wonder what is the difference sometimes, except from the electoral votes, if in case they notice the situation that was going on in the Nature Island with the political movement, it could be easily compared to many things that was taking place, up here in the U.S. And people have to be listening and just not listening to, who we are the people, because we all started, from a baby grow up. So we have to look to that which is greater than us for us to get the insight that we need. And when you talk about fear and all that, division, I think about the division and the fear. When you refer to people as uneducated, the different classification of people, all the Creator made us as male and female, he made us, but when man began, and they take on their own to do things. So tell them, this is also a way that the people in this land, the Creator has spared from destruction, because when the Creator has been seeing all the bloodshed and all the things that have been going on there, he looked for some of those that are righteous, as Abraham had asked him. If it is that there are any righteous in the land, he will not destroy the land. So we can say thank you. you know, and I will just leave that, you know, just there for so now, Matt. And I just, one more thing, Matt, I'm just looking to get in contact with Brother Sam. I heard, you know, him earlier today, and I just say, Matt, thank you, and I'm looking forward to greater things ahead. And fear not, my people, we have been given a spirit of adoption.
Again, we're following a big story up in the Sylvania area there, where a bus, we're being told from reports or sources that a bus carrying some tourists may have collided with a car. And a lot of people may have been injured. We're trying to get somebody out there on the scene there to give us more information. But I can confirm, based on my sources there, a lot of ambulances, a few ambulances, and fire trucks have been sent to the area, emergency personnel. But we're keeping on top of that story. So if you are in the area and you're listening to Q95 at this time, feel free to give us a call. It's 449-3095, 449-3096, and 449-3097. So reliable sources have confirmed that there was an accident in the Sylvania area involving a tourist bus, a bus, and a car. A number of injuries have been reported at this time. It's 1:46. Hello, good afternoon.
Matt, good morning. Good afternoon, sorry, what?
I'm listening to you, sir, yes.
Matt, just a little contribution on the American election.
Mm-hmm.
Matt, I followed that election for several weeks. And Matt, I believe what we have to look at now is the lessons to be learned from the elections, Matt. We look at Hillary Clinton and her team trying to play that sort of cool campaign despite the fact that the issue from the boss and the grouping of women came out and they, sort of pass or touch it. But Matt, what they should have confronted that email. One, she should have dealt with it early. Since she didn't, when Comey came with the issue, Matt, instead of playing that kind of cool game, they should have dealt with it and went aggressive at the actions of Comey. You know what I'm saying, Matt?
Uh-huh.
It's not the issue of thing where we say, oh, they go low, we go high. Or you just stay cool. Even on the last minute, Matt, when she was cleared, her campaign take a decision not to touch that and hoping to filter through CNN. But they should have gone with that again. All along the line, she knew she had nothing in the email. All they had was the carelessness. She should have dealt with it from there and there and say it is vindictive and they seem to want to use a strategy to bring her down. And she should have hit that and told them that she will be vindicated, man, at the end of the email. But she just went low on that.
You think she was too cool?
But of course, people must feel that you had something to hide. And not another thing on Trump's side now, which is what the opposition in Dominica need to learn. Everything is not about money or not having enough money and still having millions. Matt, Trump had money, we know that. But nothing to match with what the Republicans are.
The Democrats, yes.
You know how many $100 million they were raising in short time? But Matt, in a nutshell, Trump went throughout the country, Matt. Trump never relented. He just went on and on and on, like a machine. He tried to touch on every door. He had it mercenary, not as good, not as much as the Democrats had. But Trump decided that he was going to fight to the end. Anybody that was standing in Trump's way, he would use aggression, he would use whatever it took. You would hear them criticizing him, but the job was done. So that thing was playing nice ball and scary, coming in and attack people, and this one attacking people, Tony and all the others attacking people. We must use the same aggression they're using against us, and even more. You cannot go to battle and then have your hand behind your back. And so when they go, we're going away. You know, you're not sure, Matt, we have to, because if you take in politics as a profession, boss, and you're ready to fight, you have to fight. Go down and fight. Trump went out at everybody that was in his way. People criticize Trump for saying this and saying that, but he won in the end. You understand what I'm saying? If he created what he created, it doesn't matter. He fought, and he fought his battle. He knew what he wanted, and he said he was going to win. And some took it on. So we need to stop playing politics on the radio and sitting down there and hoping things will get good. Wait when the election call, we get back. No. How many you decide you're going into politics, you're dealing with what you're dealing with, take it the bull by the horn and from the word go, deal with everything you have to deal with. Unless we do that, the mites of the money will destroy us. But if we put our machinery on the ground, I don't know what names so we can say supporting people. But there are people that have already vented that. The only way to win the election is going on the ground and forget about them and money. Go in every single house. People will realize that you only ground with now and the other person come in one side. A man can't give people money every day, you know. If the election time around, it can happen. And if you go there and you meet people and you build a relationship with them, the little money wouldn't take them, boss. Money can bring division in a camp because you don't have money to give everybody. And you can never buy the amount of people you would need to win the election.
So serious lessons there for Dominicans.
Alright, so in a nutshell, I don't want us to just look at the upside. We have to look at the downside and the upside. And we must understand that if we don't take it on, we can never get anywhere. That's my contribution, Pat.
Thank you very much. Of course, let's listen to Hillary Clinton after her defeat there. We haven't really heard from her. Let's listen a little bit. Okay?
I congratulated Donald Trump and offered to work with him on behalf of our country. I hope that he will be a successful president for all Americans. This is not the outcome we wanted or we worked so hard for, and I'm sorry that we did not win this election for the values we share and the vision we hold for our country. But I feel pride and gratitude for this wonderful campaign that we built together. This vast, diverse, creative, unruly, energized campaign. You represent the best of America, and being your candidate has been one of the greatest honors of my life. I know how disappointed you feel because I feel it too. And so do tens of millions of Americans who invested their hopes and dreams in this effort. This is painful, and it will be for a long time. But I want you to remember this. Our campaign was never about one person or even one election. It was about the country we love and about building an America that's hopeful, inclusive, and big-hearted. We have seen that our nation is more deeply divided than we thought. But I still believe in America, and I always will. And if you do, then we must accept this result and then look to the future. Donald Trump is going to be our president. We owe him an open mind and a chance to lead. Our constitutional democracy enshrines the peaceful transfer of power. And we don't just respect that, we cherish it. It also enshrines other things: the rule of law, the principle that we are all equal in rights and dignity, freedom of worship and expression. We respect and cherish these values too, and we must defend them. Constitutional democracy demands our participation, not just every 4 years, but all the time. So let's do all we can to keep advancing the causes and values we all hold dear, making our economy work for everyone, not just those at the top, protecting our country and protecting our planet, and breaking down all the barriers that hold any American back from achieving their dreams. We spent a year and a half bringing together millions of people from every corner of our country to say with one voice that we believe that the American dream is big enough for everyone, for people of all races and religions, for men and women, for immigrants, for LGBT people and people with disabilities, for everyone. Responsibility as citizens is to keep doing our part to build that better, stronger, fairer America we see. And I know you will. I am so grateful to stand with all of you. I want to thank Tim Kaine and Ann Holton for being getting to know them better, and it gives me great hope and comfort to know that Tim will remain on the front lines of our democracy, representing Virginia in the Senate. To Barack and Michelle Obama, our country owes you for for your graceful, determined leadership that has meant so much to so many Americans and people across the world. And to Bill and Chelsea, Mark, Charlotte, Aiden, our brothers and our entire family, my love for you means more than I can ever express. You crisscrossed this country on our behalf and lifted me up when I needed it most, even 4-month-old Aiden who's traveled with his mom. I will always be grateful to the creative, talented, dedicated men and women at our headquarters in Brooklyn and across our country. You poured your hearts into this campaign. For some of you who are veterans, it was a campaign after you had done other campaigns. Some of you, it was your first campaign. I want each of you to know that you were the best campaign anybody could touch. To the millions of volunteers, community leaders, activists, and union organizers who knocked on doors, talked to neighbors, posted on Facebook, even in secret, private Facebook sites. I want everybody coming out from behind that and make sure your voices are heard going forward.
Thank you very much, Hillary Clinton.
To everyone who sent in contributions as small as $5 and kept us going, thank you. Thank you from all of us.
This is Q95, and this is the Talk on the Block. We'll be back with the hot seat tomorrow. We're still following the story coming in there. Very sketchy details at this time, but it involves a bus carrying some tourists in the Sylvania area there on a car which collided along that route. Digicel Hour is next. We'll get all the information that we can, and just stay tuned to Q95 for more detail. Matt Peltier, I'm gone for the day. Thank you so much.